million question. I think the first thing that I would say is, in lots of ways, we want to be having conversations around their identity and who they are and what makes them who they are as early as we possibly can. Because in lots of ways, if we're having to have a conversation about toxic masculinity or masculinity influencers, it almost feels like it's too late. But as an advocate for it's never too late, it is never too late. So don't feel that if you're suddenly waking up to this with a teenage son that you are way behind the curve. It is not too late, you can have that. But I do think it's about having those conversations around that sense of identity and what makes them uniquely them. Because I think what the show has highlighted and the conversation since is that societally, this is kind of the society bit, and I'm not being anti-school, but if you think about the data that's showing up now in a lot of the reports is that girls, when we're looking at 16 to 24-year-olds, and I think the Lost Boys article also has data for 5-year-olds, is that boys are lagging behind girls quite considerably in places, and between 16 and 24-year-olds, it's the first time that we're seeing the gender gap reverse, where women are earning more than men. So we have a system in society, we have a school system particularly, which is set up for girls, sitting still, being quiet, complying, being good, doing what we're told. Now obviously there'll be massive individual differences within that, but the school system isn't set up for young boys who are naturally need more movement, need these long periods of concentration, and it's just not part of their natural makeup. So I do think we have to recognise that that is the case and try and create opportunities for them to kind of curate their tribe, but also begin to understand who they are. And also recognising that boys emotionally, when we talk about really young children, their emotional development often lags girls by about 18 months. Their language development lags behind girls, generally speaking, if we take them as a whole group. And then they go through puberty 2 years later than girls. So we've got mature girls at 13, 14, even at 10, looking at boys as these annoying, idiotic things because they've not yet matured. And so it's also thinking about how do we talk about masculinity within our home to our girls, even if we don't have any sons, as well as when we have sons. So I think it's a really broad conversation.